Well, I've quickly thrown this engine together. I made some paper gaskets, not too worried about that. Done a little mod on the carb to keep it shut, and had a look. And a rough calculation, it's got nowhere near enough compression to run. I mean, you nearly can't feel it. So I thought we'll just give it a spin and see. I put some petrol in the tank as last time. Does that go? Yeah. But I don't expect it to go. Nearly. Now, like I said, I knew there wouldn't be enough compression to start and run because I've done a quick calculation and it's only about 40%. But it did just fire, so we've got a solution, but I just wanted to get that done today. Right, well, I'm going to get the petrol out again. I'll take the tank off again and do it that way. Oh, hang on. I've seen something here that might make a difference. Just before we pack up. As you'll see, it'll sort of run with help, but it's not going to run, which I expected. I had that the air breather thing off, which might have made a difference, but I didn't think it would. Anyway, let's get back in the warm and I'll do a bit of explaining. Right, we're back in the warm, as you can see. And so, I'll just whip the head off and show you why it won't run, but as I say, I was expecting it not to. But first, I want to show you this. Got a lovely surprise today. Can you see that? Hey? Got my own merchandise. That's my banger mate, Gaz, who took us to the Westy meet. Oh, quite a long while ago now. Last long trip I did down the south coast. Anyway, that's lovely, isn't it, eh? Chuffed with that. Sent me it for my birthday, you see. So that's alright. And also, just in case you do, I know you won't, but I've got some packaging now, so if you're in this country, alright, my older mate, you know, Tony and my rescuer, well, he did me some lovely mugs. He did me a few with my tractor on, and they're really nice. So I've got a couple of these left, and normally double-sided mugs like that are £12 plus £3-4 postage, something like that. But anyway, I was selling them for £8, but it's about £3. So let's say if anybody does want one, because now I've got a package to send one to someone, you know, you can have it for 10 quid. How about that? So that's, I'm just letting you know, that's all. Not flogging stuff, and just that they're nice and they're not expensive. So there you go. Now let's get back to the job in hand, and I'll tell you what we've got to do. So, and 3 of these bolts are longer than the others, and of course I didn't look where they came out of, obviously you find out, but it must be the ones that cowl goes in, I think. I meant to, as well, clean these studs up, because they're just a bit tight and oily, you know, that's all it is. And I quickly made a couple of cardboard egg gaskets. So we now know, anyway, as expected. Now I'm just going to explain to you quickly, if I can, why it hasn't got enough compression. And well, it's obvious. You'll be able to see anyway. You know, when you look at this, it's obvious. Now, the compression ratio, I'll just tell anyone who doesn't know, I know you all know, right, but you take the swept volume of the engine, which is the diameter of the piston, times pi to give you the area, times the stroke, and that's the swept volume of the piston. And then you measure the volume of the combustion chamber and divide that into your swept volume, which it's just bore and stroke, that's all you need, and you can work it out, you know, pretty accurately. Not that we need to on this engine, but anyway, I've mentioned, I don't know if anyone's looked at that, there's one video I found. Well, you know, we didn't find, Jonathan's didn't show up, probably because it's called something different, but there's one video rather, of an engine running quite a few years ago, and it's the one where it takes the spark plug out, and there's not much coming out. Well, of course, we know what he did. He put a spacer in, most likely put a miniature spark plug in, and then filled the gap on the head, and that's exactly what I've got to do, which I was expecting to do. I had a quick measure up of this today, so I'll show you, as I say, just quickly, and then you'll probably understand. Now, let me get a rag and wipe this mess up. That is your combustion chamber, right? That's all it is. The piston comes up to the top, so you've only got head gasket thickness between the piston and that, which is filled in, so that's all you've got. So if I can see my ruler yet, it's down here, and I just had a quick measure up of the depth. Now, even without my glasses I can see, and can I get the light on it so you can? No, probably not. Anyway, without the light on it, I can tell you it's 1/4 of an inch deep, right? Now that spacer I made is of course 3/16. So that means that it hasn't doubled it, but it's we've only got about 40% compression. And as I say, as soon as I looked at it today, because that is more or less the same shape of the head, you see. So the answer's simple, like, doing it isn't quite so easy. But what I have to do is make a spacer. I'll try and show you. Make a spacer like that size, out this alley, and fasten it into there. Now I've got the little bit that I cut out, so just to show you, because it'll go around the plug, you see, obviously. What I have to do is to get some of this, make it that shape, and cut round the plug, because that won't matter, and then fasten it to the head. And there's not a lot of meat, there is a little bit, but not a lot, so I think it'll mean 2 little nuts and bolts, drill some holes and 2 little nuts and bolts to go through there, and I've got to fit it quite carefully. There's a slight bump there as well, you see. So it's basically it's quite high compression actually, you know. So that's what we have to do next. But of course the next step, and I won't bother showing you this because you've seen it run. Oh dear. Oh, it's cold weather. So I'm just going to put the head back on as it was, and I'll give it another quick run. As I say, I won't bother showing you that, just to make sure, because like I said, if it didn't, you know, just to make sure it still runs. Because it would be dead easy to say, oh, that's the problem, you know, and do this work, then it still doesn't run. And then, of course, it's something else, you know, these things happen. It's like I was saying about my phone call yesterday. I was downstairs for ages, about, 5 hours, 6 hours, yeah, 5 hours, sat next to my phone, left it downstairs, and Rod, you know, and they rang up, what I meant, taken to the vets. Well, just the same day, where was it? Oh, I went to the toilet, that's right, and the postman came and brought me mug when I'd been, and I've been sat in the room for about 3 hours with hardly moving, so there you go. Anyway, that's just explaining to you why you have to go back to the step that works. Otherwise, you know, you're not going to do it. So that's the next thing anyway. So that's going to be a few days, possibly, before I can get round to that. Because I need, unless I can find 2 small screws or bolts, and as I say, I think I'm going to have to, you know, drill through. So they'll be visible, but if someone looks hard enough, they're going to see anyway, aren't they? You know, it's we're not going to hide the whole thing and all that, are we? It's just a bit of fun. I mean, that's why I'm telling people on the video. I mean, our mate Steve, he says, oh, everyone will know because they've seen the video. Well, if you look at the views, there's only 200 or 300 people looked at it, you know, and I'm sure most of them won't be at the show. So, you know, we'll probably get away with it once, you know. So just to show them at a bit of a distance, then let them have a look at it, and it doesn't matter, does it? You know, it's all a bit of fun. Just something to pass the time and entertain yourself and keep your brain alive. I will just wipe that oil up. And do you like my quick egg gasket I made this morning? Just a bit of cardboard, you see. So it'll do until we get organised, won't it? Right. Anyway, that's enough to be going on with, I think. And as I say, at least we know what to do. It won't be. It's just going to be the lack of little bolts and that to fasten it on, because it'll need, well, I would rather have it 2 very small nuts and, well, not bolts, they're like, you know, flathead screws, countersunk in, and in a bit of aluminium like that, and that'll hold it on there, and then we should have enough compression to run. So that's the fun with these projects, isn't it? Right, enough of that today. We'll I'll probably find something different to show you, because everyone's getting bored of this, looking at this, aren't they? I know they are. You know, but we'll probably find something else. I didn't get to the Christmas market, as I said, because it was too cold weather for a day or two, and I was doing this and one thing and another. So we'll have to miss that this year. Right. We will see you all before too long. I will just leave you with my birthday present, just to show you, just for the last shot, because that, I actually think, is quite cool. Yeah. Getting my own merchandise. Right. See you later, lads.